goes. Let's examine why it took 5 or 6 years in America. The reason that the Fed had to step in and create money to inject into the economy was because the banks were not doing it. The banks were not doing it because they had damaged balance sheets. But also households were not willing to borrow. They were anxious to repay some of their debt. Indeed, for the entire US, private sector debt ratios reached a post-war high level. So in order to reduce their debt ratios, people were repaying debt. I call that process balance sheet repair. So in addition to doing QE, the Federal Reserve had to ensure that balance sheet repair was going on. Now, balance sheet repair cannot be done quickly. People cannot repay a mortgage all at once. Companies cannot repay their debt all at once. They can only do it in small amounts, year by year by year. And since a large part of the debt was accumulated by households, by individuals, it has taken a long time to repair balance sheets. And it's only now, 6 years after the crisis, that the debt ratio of US households and financial institutions is now leveling out. It has been coming down, down, down as they reduce their debt. It's finally stabilized, and that's what explains why American economic performance has improved a lot over the last year. Now go back to Europe. The situation in Europe is very similar. In many countries, the debt ratio, and here I'm talking about the debt ratio in the private sector, not government debt, the debt ratio in the private sector increased to very high levels. And we will have to wait for those debt ratios to come down. If we take the case of Italy, companies and households have not reduced their debt at all. Banks and other financial institutions have reduced their debt. But there is some way to go in that balance sheet repair. So the European Central Bank needs to make enough liquidity available to facilitate that balance sheet repair. And that will take time. It cannot be done within the 18-month time frame that the ECB has currently laid out.